Alrighty, so it's been a while since I have done one of these, and in fact, I'm actually back in the hotel right now. My hotel, of course, as you guys know, is right next to City Park, which is good to see because literally I was able to get out of that stadium in less than 3 minutes, and that's even when they actually had a fireworks show after the end of this game. I actually didn't know that they were going to do a fireworks show right at the end of the game. I guess, since this was actually the last home game for St. Louis City, it's kind of like a fan appreciation night. They decided to do something a little extra for the fans as well. And by the way, speaking of fans, there's still a lot of fans that are just kind of making their way out of the stadium as well. But yeah, in terms of this game itself, man, I was not expecting St. Louis to absolutely roll in this game against the Houston Dynamo. Well, actually, I say that they absolutely rolled against the Dynamo. I don't think that was really the case. I mean, I thought throughout this game, the Dynamo did have some of their chances. It feels like St. Louis was kind of just sitting deep a little bit in the second half. It almost felt like after they got that second goal, they just kind of packed it in and allowed the Dynamo to have most of the possession. But obviously, I'll of course talk a little bit more about the game. So I also want to talk about my experience at City Park. This is actually the first time that I ever been to the stadium, and I gotta say, when they talk about how this is definitely one of the best atmosphere in MLS, you better believe that is the case. I mean, I went in there, and really that supporter session, it is loud. Like, literally from the beginning, it was definitely something. I think as loud as when I went to it was Bank of California Stadium, but now it's called BMO Stadium at LAFC with the 3252 in terms of the how loud it is in the supporter section. But yeah, it was very loud in the supporter section. And again, the other thing I was interested coming into this game is that, I know this of course is the final game of the season, and this of course is a fan appreciation night, but I didn't know that maybe there was going to be another pack house inside City Park, and indeed that of course the case. Now obviously around my section there was definitely some empty seats, and I of course don't blame people of course not showing up in this game knowing that the team pretty much have nothing to play for, although you could also argue that you probably should have showed up for this game, since it's the last time that a lot of these St. Louis City fans will get to see their team play until at the very earliest February of next year. But yeah, like I said, it was a very loud crowd. They also apparently have refillable drinks, which is something that I really like to see. You not only the fact that you of course buy a souvenir cup, but you're also able to refill it as many times as possible. That's something that I wish many stadium would do, because let's be honest, no one want to pay like $9 for a refillable drink. Unfortunately, they don't have refillable beer as well. You still have to kind of buy it individually. But for those that like soda like I do, I appreciate the fact that they do have like refillable machine where you can refill as many times as possible, and I think that is a good deal, even though the cost of the souvenir cup was like around $9.25. But yeah, obviously very good experience here in the stadium as well. And like mentioned, they had the fireworks show. The fireworks show was actually on the roof there, which I mean, I've seen better fireworks show, I guess. When they put it on the roof, there was some limitation. I was also thinking that they were going to maybe put some of the pyrotechnic on the pitch, like I've seen with fireworks that are not like near water. Usually when you see a stadium that put fireworks show that is not near water, they usually kind of put some pyrotechnics on the field and then basically shoot off there. But they decided to do it on the roof, and it's a little bit kind of okay when it comes to it. It's not the best, but not the worst that I've seen in terms of the fireworks show. But either way, I don't think the fans really care. I mean, as I said, St. Louis City, they won 3-0 in this one. And really, I've said this before about St. Louis, and I said it again. They waited too long when it comes to make those moves. Those moves that they made over the summer transfer window, bring Cedric Toysher, Marcel Hardo, and all these guys into this team. They made this move way too late. If they would have made this move like a little bit earlier in the season, this team could legitimately be a playoff contender. In fact, if they could have just made this move like maybe 2 or 3 games before they actually implemented, this team could actually be competing for the playoffs, and they could be dangerous once they head into the playoffs. I mean, they have looked really good in these last couple of games. games, and in this game against the Dynamo too. I mean, I would also say it's kind of a combination of St. Louis playing a very good game, and Houston probably had their worst road game in this one. I mean, it was kind of unrecognizable tonight, seeing this Dynamo team that, this Dynamo team is a very good team. They are one of the best team on the road this season. Yes, they do not have Hector Herrera in this game, and I do think that they really miss Hector Herrera, especially with the way that I think throughout this game, when St. Louis was started to really sit deep in the second half, Houston was started getting most of the possession. I do think that this is where they miss Hector Herrera, because he's a guy that can unlock a defense that is putting a low block. And you see throughout this game where, the Dynamo, even though they had most of the possession, they just could not break down that St. Louis low block, because they just don't have a difference maker on this team like a Hector Herrera. Amin Bassi also did not play in this game. I don't know if he's actually also injured as well. I think Brooklyn Reigns basically play in his position, and he's okay throughout this game. Nothing special, obviously nowhere near the caliber as Amin Bassi of course is, but yeah, again, I do think that in this game they really played one of the worst games this season on the road. And what I also noticed, at least in this game, especially in the first half, there was so many whistles in the first half. Like, literally, I think between minute 20 all the way to minute 40, there was like a foul every minute, every 2 minutes. There was a yellow card that was being handed out. There was a lot of physicality that is going on. And I also saw a lot of the Dynamo players just kind of flopping there on the ground, especially I think there was one incident where I think it was Aliu, the one that basically draw the foul, and he basically just roll on the ground like a couple time on the floor. Like, come on, Aliu, you don't need to do a Neymar there in terms of trying to draw a foul. And then of course Franco Escobar was pretty much enemy number one at City Park tonight. I mean, as soon as he committed the foul in the beginning of the first half, he was basically booed mercilessly by the St. Louis crowd throughout the whole game. And I was also kind of interested to see why did Ben Olsen decide not to sub him off in the second half, because he was kind of really a walking red card out there. Like, as soon as he got the yellow card, usually when you of course got a yellow card, you always want to be careful and keep your tempers cool, but obviously that's not how Franco Escobar runs. He is definitely one of the more hot-headed player in the league as well. But I was kind of surprised that Ben Olsen did not sub him off in the second half, because again, and up to that point it was already 2-0. So you might start to put some of your starters out and maybe bring in the fresh legs in there to see how it goes. And it's not like Franco Escobar had a good game in this one, especially with him keeping his composure. And yeah, I mean, it was no surprise that in the second half that he of course got himself a second yellow card. Like, it was a matter of time that it happened. But even then, Houston, they didn't look that bad, even though they were down to 10 men in this game. Again, St. Louis, they really kind of packed it in this game, and it I don't blame them, of course, doing so. I mean, they got that first goal very early. That first goal was very well worked there. I think it was a beautiful cross that was coming in, and even a better ball. I think it was Teuscher, the one that just plays it right into the path of Simon Betcher, who had a really good game in this one. He got 2 goals in this one, and then he also had a breakaway goal in the beginning of the second half, where Houston kind of got a little taste of their own medicine. I mean, Houston is always a team that is known to score goals on transition, but they definitely got a taste of their own medicine after conceding that second goal, where they just committed too many men forward, and Simon Betcher was in on goal. Like, as soon as I saw that, yeah, that was going to be in, even though I know Steve Clark is one of the better 1v1 goalkeeper. By the way, speaking of goalkeeper, I was also excited coming into this matchup, considering, these are 2 really good goalkeeper. Roman Berkey basically showed it too. I mean, I cannot believe how he made that save around the 72nd minute. I think he robbed was it Kowiczek, the one that he of course robbed? It was just incredible. Like, it was just a point blank effort, just an absolute robbery by him there. Though I will say that he did have some shaky moments in this game as well. I think the one shaky moment happened near the end of this game where, you know, he of course was able to make a save, but then he kind of gave up a big rebound and the ball was kind of popped up in the air, and then he was trying to punch it away, didn't quite do so, and here comes Latafe Blessing. All he had to do was tap it into the empty net, well, with the header that is, and I think he probably misjudged the bounce there, because instead of basically heading into the empty net, he basically didn't connect to it, and to make matters worse, he also hit the post as well. So that's a double whammy. Not only the fact that you miss a big opportunity, but just getting whammed yourself into the post as well. Just kind of a night that sums up the Houston Dynamo tonight. Again, just very surprising how poor that they look in this game. And as I mentioned, this is one of the best road team in the league. They've won 8 road games coming in to this game, and again, you know, a mixture of the fact that they are missing some of their key players. I do think that once they do get some of their key players, once they do get Hector Herrera back in the near the end of the season, or even into the playoff as well, this team should look pretty decent. But yeah, this is definitely a wake-up call for the Dynamo. And I also want to say that they've been very inconsistent lately. The Houston Dynamo, they haven't really looked as good as they were in the beginning of the season. There's been in these last couple of run of form, they've been kind of up and down lately, and you know, when you're heading into the playoffs, you don't want to have that kind of form with inconsistency. But either way, you know, obviously we'll see how they of course would do. And obviously for St. Louis, they got one more game left. They of course play against Minnesota in that last game, and again, this team looked very dangerous. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it again once I do the Moving Forward series episode about them, that this team, you know, if there's any team I can think of out of the Western Conference that is going to get eliminated this season that can make it to the playoffs, it's definitely this team. I mean, this team looked really good, and that I do think that, like I said, if they just made those moves earlier in the summer transfer window, this team legitimately could sneak into the playoffs and could definitely cause a bit of a problem once they do get into the playoffs. But yeah, either way, guys, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, leave a like, smash the subscribe button. Like I said, you know, I don't usually do a lot of these, but since I'm here in the patio and, you know, I got City Park there in the background, I might as well just kind of do a video like this. But either way, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.